rental income or um, capital appreciation. Now let's talk more on debt financing. Now this simply means it involves using what borrowed money from a lender to purchase a property instead of buying property entirely with your own capital. We said the self financing is involves you buying the property or investing in the assets with entirely your capital. But this is actually, saying that you are using broad money, um, inclusive of your capital, but not entirely your capital, right? So now that's where what we call mortgage comes in. Now, what does mortgage means? It means a type of loan used to purchase or maintain purchase a home, land, or any type of real estate. Now, who gives out this mortgage? They are called mortgage banks, right? They lend money to their borrowers, either collect installments with a fixed rate or sell the loans to secondary market, right? So people that give out this mortgage is called the mortgage bank. Now, there are several types of mortgage. Is We have the residential mortgage and the commercial mortgage. Simply means um, mortgage given out to build houses, for personal houses that you plan to live in. So that's a residential mortgage. Why the one given out to to acquire properties that are meant for commercial purposes is referred to as the commercial mortgage, right? So this is another way you can finance, real estate apart from using your entire capital. Now we have the federal. Now these are bodies that are engaging giving out mortgage to um, people in Nigeria, right? So we have the Federal Mortgage Bank, which is solely a public sector, while we have the Nigerian Mortgage Finance Company, which is a like a public-private partnership, right? So um, the FMBM is solely, they give out loans to people looking out to build houses, right? Both the salaried and the non-salaried, right? That means both people that are collecting salary and the ones that are not collecting salary. Why this the other body do not finance, like do not give out mortgage directly to people. What they do is that they finance, commercial mortgage banks and like they finance all primary financial institutions. That's what they do. So they're the one that they're like a link between the capital market and the housing market, right? So the assets fund from the capital markets, right? And they pump it into the housing market. So what they do is that they are the one in charge of giving out liquid to when I say liquid cash, I mean cash money to the financial institutions that now in turn give mortgages to the primary consumer, right? So now this leads us to a product of the FMBN. So it's called the NHF, right? It's called the National Housing Fund. So it's a product of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So it's that aims at long-term money in order to provide contributors with low interest loans to help people who cannot afford commercial housing loans to own houses, right? Now, you know how we have CBN and we have the commercial banks. So this is similar to it. Now we have the commercial housing loans from the commercial mortgage banks, but we also have loans from the FMBN, which is the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Definitely the aim is to subsidize this loan so that they can be accessible to more people, right? You cannot compare the loans that we're getting from CBN to loans that we're getting from commercial banks, right? So because CBN is a government owned body, while commercial banks are privately owned, and anything privately owned comes expensive, right? Yeah. So this is the same analogy as CBN is to the commercial banks. That is how the FMBN is also to the commercial mortgage banks, right? So what they do is that they give out loans to persons, that are looking to buy or to build houses, right? And how is this done? So this is done by contributing 2.5% of your monthly salary to FMBN, right? So that means either you are a self-employed or an employed person, your salary monthly is being what's contributed to the scheme, right? So these are characteristics of NHF. Now, a borrower may be eligible to what to borrow a maximum limit of 50 million, right? So that's the maximum you can get from the the NHF, what they call it. So that's the maximum you can get from the National Housing Fund, and the interest rate is 6% per annum. You can see that it's very low. If you know the amount the commercial um, houses are collecting from, they're collecting up to 18% per annum, right? So, but for NHF, it's giving out 6% per annum. Now, you can repay FMBN loan for a period of 30 years, right? So, your repayment period can be up to 30 years. Then it comes with a housing loan of up to 90% of the cost of the house, right? So that means an NHF loan cannot fund 100% of the housing of of the house you want to get. So the highest it can fund is 90%. That means you have to have a down payment of at least 10% of the value of the house you want to purchase, or the property you want to purchase, right? So what this funds does is that it can fund up to only 90%. You get so that means the other 10% has to come from you. You understand? But I know um, the maximum loan you can get is 15 million. So this is actually, you know, got used to finance probably landed properties that are, that are not that too capital intensive, or buildings that, that are probably bungalows that are within within the range of 15 million, 20 million naira, you know. So that's all about the National Housing Fund. Now we have others like the Housing Microfinance Scheme. We have the guarantee program. So the first one is mainly used probably, let's say you want to improve your house, right? Probably for um, innovation, right? So for innovation, or for um, incremental buildings, right? Probably maybe you started building your house, you have a land, and you started building your house, and you don't have money to finish it. So you can access the housing microfinance scheme, right? Or you want to renovate something in your house, you do not have money to, you can access the housing microfinance scheme. The second one is the guarantee program. This is people, for people that do not even have money to access to for down payment, right? So down payment simply means the money you put down before you can access loan. So, for example, I think the popular proportion is the 80-20% rule. So that means for you to access loan, you need to have 20% of the value of that particular property. So the least you can get is 80%. But for the NHA fund, you can get up to 90%, right? But for the other commercial banks, they might be telling you that you need to be to meet up with the 25% or 20% down payment, right? So what this guarantee the program does is that for people that do not even have access to the down payment, they help them, right? So the last one is RSA. So RSA simply means retirement savings account, right? So people are people that have pension accounts, with PenCom. So PenCom is also a government body that manages pension fund. So it can be from self-employed and also the employed persons too can also have an RSA account. So there's a law that just came out recently that says that you can access 25% of your RSA account towards contributing to your to equity of a property that you intend to buy, right? So it simply means that this if you have an RS, RSA account rather, you can use this um, 25% as a down payment to access loan from other mortgage banks, right? So this is a recent law being passed by PENCOM, you know, and there are some requirements that you need to also meet before you can access this also. You know, probably I'm going to share with us links on several um, on PENCOM, on NHF, on you know, several bodies that facilitate mortgage, right? So now this your eligibility for mortgage. Um, your monthly income has to meet up with at least the annual repayments, right? Your monthly expenditure, you have to also ascertain that, because the monthly income that is, sorry, the monthly repayment that is required for mortgage, you know you have to meet up with it, but it must not what um mu- must not what hinder what you already have for your monthly expenses. So if you know that after paying my monthly mortgage, I will not have enough to cater for my monthly expenditure, that means you are not yet eligible for mortgage yet, right? So the difference from your mortgage monthly mortgage payment from your normal income has to also be able to cater for your monthly expenditure. So that's what this means. Now, your existing debt profile. This actually means what's your credit score, right? Credit score simply means, now do you have debt that are not being attended to yet? So are you credit worthy? Do you pay your credits on time with other credit outlets, right? So if your debt profile is not good, it's not a good one, you cannot access mortgage. That means you're not worthy with credit, right? But people cannot trust you, or companies cannot trust you with credits. So your debt profile has to be a good one before you can be eligible to get mortgage. Now, the value of property you want to finance also too is very, very important for um, so is it something that is corresponding to your income, right? Is it something that you can afford? So if it's something that your monthly income cannot cater for, the the financial institution will not pass you out for mortgage. Like, you won't get approval, to access mortgage from them. So these are the eligibility for NHF, right? For you to qualify for the National Housing Fund, this is just the eligibility, something I can read later. So now, it's something for you to finance projects, but if you put in money into a bad real estate investment, you are going to bear the brunt, right? So this is where due um, diligence comes in. So it simply means investigations conducted on a particular thing. In here, we're talking about assets, real estate assets, prior to carrying out any activity on that thing. So it simply means by investigation of a of various aspects of completing a transaction with the seller, right? So there are the things that you must do before you put money down, for any assets, So before you complete a transaction with a seller of any asset, you must what, do this due diligence, right? So it's one of the most important steps in real estate purchasing. Now, look at the importances of due diligence. Now, it helps you ascertain the true ownership of the property. It helps to uncover flaws in an investment. So if there's a pending litigation, probably there's a court case on a property, or probably the 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 company giving out property is not genuine, they're not duly registered with the bodies that are um, regulating real estate in Nigeria. So it helps you uncover all those flaws, right? It also helps you determine if there are any defects in the property. So this has to do with physical inspection, right? Probably, if you want to buy a house and the structural um, outlook is not, it's not giving giving you the like what you want, right? Probably there are cracks on the walls, bad doors, bad ceilings and all those things. So it allows you, you know, know if there's any defects. It allows you assess risks associated with property you're planning to purchase. And then lastly, it also ensures that there are no legal encumbrances. So that means that probably there's no legal, fraud on property. It is owned by who said um, owned by the seller. It is owned by the seller. There's no court case on it. There's no any litigations on it. All titles are being what are duly processed from the government. You need to also, these are steps to help you uncover the truth before you put your money into any real estate asset, right? Then you have different forms. You have the physical form, you have the legal form, you have the corporate form, you have the financial form, right? So for physical, like I said, it simply means going there to inspect and seeing yourself. And this is something that So probably someone told you that, oh, the land is close to the road. Have you been there yourself to see if it is really close to the road, right? So I've seen places that they say the land is close to the road, and probably the land is like maybe 3 kilometers from the road, right? So physical inspection lets you ascertain what the seller tells you about a particular property, right? The legal one is actually the one that shows you if the title is actually owned by the seller itself, right? If it has the correct legal documentations that it needs to have, right? So if it is, not under the government acquired area, you understand? Places that are mainly for government, if you buy it, right, it is not duly owned, right? It's not duly owned because the government have already marked that particular area for for social amenities like pipe-borne waters, roads, railways. You know, legal diligence will help you what uncover all this. Now, the third one is the corporate diligence. This has to do with the company itself or the seller itself, right? You know, especially if you're buying from the company. So, is the company duly registered with the bodies that are that are in charge of real estate? What they call it? Real estate practice in Nigeria. So you need to also uncover this thing, right? Then the last one is financial diligence. This actually has to do with, would this property give me what I want? You have to also, if you are trying to get rental income from it, will it give me so amount in so day? You understand? Will I be able to generate so profit in so period of time? So this is just the financial uh, uh, diligence. You need to also look at that part too. So this also what you are saying similar to um, title search, similar to so this is actually trying to buttress my point on legal um, diligence the other time. You understand? So you can just look through this one. This is self um, explanatory. Now, some people call the Land Use Act, and it's a law that was promulgated on the 29th of March, um, 1978. It states that that all lands, right, comprised in the territory of each state, uh, except land vested in the federal government, are owned by the are solely in the governor of that state, who will hold such land in the trust of people, and will henceforth be responsible for the allocation of land in all urban areas to individual residents. So it means that all lands are vested upon the governor of that state, right? So all lands belongs to the governor of that state, right? But you can actually access it from the governor only by his or her consent, right? So that's just the summary of that law. Right? So now this is just showing the um, title of occupant, like title that can be on lands, right? You know, uh, different titles that can be on land and their hierarchy. You know, so this is the highest hierarchy. You can get certificate of occupancy, right? So this actually is issued upon payment to any person. You know, it's actually giving the right of occupancy to someone that that owns that land, right? So it's a legal document issued by the government that proves that the person owns the land in Nigeria. So it's proving that this person owns the land and it's actually under a period of 99 years, right? So government is actually was giving you a right of occupying that land. So the documents you own by this person is called C of O, certificate of occupancy, which means you have the right of occupying the land. So the government of Africa are giving you what? Are giving you right to occupy the landed property you